as you've indicated, in terms of the women's basketball program at Vanderbilt University. Let's talk about some of that success. I think that you've indicated that you won the SEC Women's Basketball Championship this year. Let's talk about some of the things in reference to that, and what were some of the outcomes of that?
Well, we've had a good 4-year run. We've been in the NCAA tournament all 4 years and have advanced to at least the round of 16 quarterfinals of the NCAA championships. Had an Elite Eight shot and a Final Four shot. But I think that this year coming up might be the best group we've had. I think to do what we'd like to do, and we'd like to compete and win a national championship. We don't make any bones about it. We think we can do it. And I think you need good players, a good chemistry, and I think you need some luck. Health is one of the factors where you need some luck. We're going to give it a run this year. We're going to give it a run the next couple of years. We have great size in Angela Gorsica, 6'7", third in the nation in block shots. Mark Cunningham, who was the most valuable player in the Southeastern Conference tournament as a sophomore. Mars had 2 knee surgeries and a car accident. Has never put a collegiate situation together where she had a season, a summer, and a season. So we haven't seen the best of Mara. We're going to, hopefully, she's putting the summer together and that season next year. Nashima Hillman, a great talent. Probably invigorated us in a lot of areas last year and made us a more intense team, and a team more in the maybe the image and likeness of the way I like to play.
You know, one of the things, and excuse me for interrupting, but one of the things I think that is significant about your team, your women's basketball team, is that you are a well drawer, which is to say that Memorial Gymnasium accommodates a large number of people when the women's basketball team plays. How can you explain that? I mean, what are...
Well, we work hard at it. We go out and we are involved in the community. We get the kids involved, grassroots. Never say no to a speaking engagement. We just want people to come out and see us one time. That's all we ask. And I think if they do that, then they come back. We are a sleeping giant in that arena, I think. The last revenue-producing sport, untapped in intercollegiate athletics, is women's basketball. It is a sport that, if it's promoted the right way, if it's accepted the right way, 9, 10, 11, 12,000 people at a game becomes the norm in places where it's treated the right way and you have a good product. And I think that we do treat it the right way, and I think we're ready to take another step next year and have more people in the bleachers, because I think we're going to have an exciting team and the kind of team people want to see.
Coach Dowhower, you know, I think one of the things that we would like to talk about today has to do with the NCAA requirement. Essentially, some of the problems, some of the challenges in a real sense in collegiate athletics. And of course, you've been in and out of collegiate athletics for quite a while. But what do you find in terms of dealing with some of the NCAA requirements? And we ask that question primarily because each time that we have an opportunity to talk to people who've been involved in athletics, coaching, and et cetera, the NCAA requirements often come up. Let's give you an opportunity as a person coming from the professional ranks back into the collegiate ranks to say something about your impressions in reference to the requirements up to this point.
Well, since the time I coached in collegiate football, the restrictions have increased tremendously, and the presidents have stepped in. And I think the recruiting restrictions are probably the toughest, because you only have a certain number of days. For instance, in May 21 to evaluate. That's no contact. Then you come back in the fall, and you have a few days in October, and then you really have December and January when you can have recruits visit. And other than that, it's phone calls and letters. So it's a tremendous challenge, just because of the fact that Jim and I were talking about this. What you really want to do is meet as many of the players as you can and their parents. It's very important. I know in recruiting last year, when I came in January, I met every one of the players' parents, and many of them came to the campus when we had campus visits. And I found that to be very enlightening And I had a much better idea of who I was dealing with, because the videotapes of the games reveal a certain amount about the individual as a player, but as we all know, there's much more to it than that.
There's that unseen potential that you have an opportunity to get to when you talk to the parents and have an opportunity to personally make that contact with the student athlete.
Well, exactly, and I like to involve the parents. I think that having been the parent of 2 boys that went through the University of Virginia and now graduated, that I can see the same concerns of these parents that I had. So consequently, you like to have that kind of rapport, and you like to have that kind of knowledge of one another before you make such a big decision, because it is a tremendous decision in terms of a financial commitment from us, and really a commitment by any prospect and his parents to, you know, to attend any university.
Coach Foster, you know, I think we've talked about gender equity and other problems dealing with an attempt to try to put more money into female athletics. And of course, you've done quite a job in terms of bringing about the support for the Vanderbilt University women's basketball team. But let's look at gender equity across the board, not only dealing with basketball, and you have to recognize that you do have somewhat of a very, very special kind of situation with your women's basketball team. But many women teams are suffering simply because they don't get the kind of support. What can be done, and what do you see as one of the great challenges in this area?
I think a great many universities are addressing that issue right now, because it's the law, and it's being put in a position that you've got to step up to the table. And at Vanderbilt, our budgets are very much compatible with the men's across the board in terms of basketball, as far as travel, as far as the kinds of uniforms that you're going to buy, as far as the kind of shoes you wear, whatever it is, top to bottom. I think you have the same monies available today that you didn't have 10 years ago. I mean, I came into this thing, my first year at St. Joseph's, I made $3,000, and my second $5,000, and then they made me full-time, and I made $10,000. And I also had to coach softball. Those days are gone. Those days are long past. I make a good living now. My assistants are making